What's up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today. Let's see what we're going to do first. We're going to do the Real Housewives of Dubai. This is season number 1, episode 11. The episode is titled Salty Waters, you guys. So, I know I didn't do last week's review, you guys. I wasn't feeling it last week. I didn't watch the episode. I didn't watch it last week, and I'm not watching it this week, so I don't know what happened in last week's episode, and I don't want to discuss it. What I do want to discuss is, and I'm not mad about anything per se, but this is the reason why I didn't review Dubai last week. So the week before my episode number 9 review, it was a comment on there, and it kind of just threw me back a little bit. I love when you guys leave your comments. I love when you guys tell me how you feel about shows, even if it's a differing opinion of mine. I love that. I don't have an issue with that. What I do have an issue with is when I feel like people are coming to my channel and basically trying to dictate what I say and what I do, right? I have an issue with that because I think I said in the review that I was ready for Dubai to be over. And somebody didn't like the fact that I said that, saying like if we don't like shows, we should stop reviewing them. You guys should know, if you guys have been around my channel for any length of time, you guys know if I am not feeling the show anymore, I drop that like that. Look at Black Ink Crew Chicago. You guys notice I've stopped reviewing Chicago. You guys know I'll start reviewing Black Ink Crew Chicago, and I'll get frustrated with them and I'll drop it. I don't have a problem with that. If a show frustrates me to no avail, I drop it. Look what I did with Basketball Wives. I told you guys I was tired of reviewing Basketball Wives in the capacity in which I did it, and I gave you guys the season finale. I gave you guys a live of that because it was easier for me to get my thoughts out and talk about the show and move on. I didn't have to rewatch it. I didn't have to look at my notes and record it and then go to my laptop, edit that, upload that, and then still have to deal with the comments. I didn't have to deal with that. I just did the live. You guys joined me on the live. We talked on the live, and we ended it. So please know that for me, I want to clarify what I meant when I said I'm ready for Dubai to end. I'm ready for Dubai to end because my Wednesday nights are packed, you guys. So you guys have to remember, there are 4 shows that I was trying to review. You guys noticed, I haven't even gone back to Married at First Sight. I watched Married at First Sight. I have not reviewed Married at First Sight in weeks because of that scheduling. Beverly Hills Housewives, Dubai, Sisters, and Married at First Sight. That is a lot, you guys. That is a lot on a Wednesday. I can do 3 reviews in a day, but 4 I can't. 4 is draining. And then on top of that, you guys have to remember I have a full-time job. That I have to do. So I have to find time between my work schedule and YouTube is a hobby for me. So I don't do this. I do this for fun. I do this for shits and giggles. I come on here and have fun with you guys because I love interacting with you guys. I do it for you and for me at the same time. So yeah, that comment, I want to say, I want to preface this by once again saying, I'm not upset about it. It just kind of threw me for a loop. And that's why I didn't do episode 10 last week. I had no intentions of doing it. I didn't even watch the episode. And then there is another reason why I didn't do episode 10 review last week. I don't want to talk about it. I was going to talk about it, but I prefer not to. I'll discuss a little bit in the episode when we get to it. But let's pause here, you guys. Actually, no. Before we go ahead and just jump into review, if you guys are watching, please subscribe to the channel, you guys. If you get anything, like Misha says, if you get anything from me and my content, please subscribe. Do me that favor. Stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. Like the video, you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on your post notifications. And with that, you guys, without further ado, let's discuss Real Housewives of Dubai. All right, you guys. So before we go ahead and get into the reunion, nope, this is not the reunion. Before we go ahead and get into the review, I want to talk about the reunion looks. So they just released the reunion looks yesterday before the episode aired, because next week is the season finale. The reunion looks, one thing I can say about them, for a season 1 reunion, I don't really see anything that's just like ugly. I don't see anything that's as bad as what Beverly Hills did last season for their reunion. I don't see anything as bad as what Potomac did for their first 2 reunions. I don't see anything as bad as, who else? Salt Lake City season 1 and season 2 reunions. Those were horrible looks. So the Dubai girls did good. Now, if I have to give who my best dressed are, my best dressed, Lisa and Ayan. And my worst dressed, who would be my worst dressed? And I don't have pictures, you guys, so sorry. My worst dress would be, who would be my worst dressed? Because I will say, I loved Lisa's look, I loved Ayan's look, and I loved Nina's look. Nina's look, I loved it. Sarah's look was okay. It wasn't just like, oh my God, Sarah's, she looks beautiful. She was pretty, but it wasn't something that just initially caught my eye. Stanberry looked like she just showed up to the reunion, literally. Brooks. You guys, I'm not gonna speak on Brooks. I don't have anything to say about Brooks, and that's just for me personally. I have nothing positive, negative. I don't want to speak on Brooks. Period, point blank. If you guys tell me if you guys saw the looks, tell me who you guys liked and disliked. I have so yeah. So my best dressed, if I have to say, like I said, best dressed is Ayan and Lisa. Worst dressed for me would be Stanberry, honestly. Because like I said, I have nothing to say about Brooks. I prefer not to speak on Brooks. So this episode picked up where the ladies left off. So Stanberry, she got, her and Ayan got into, I didn't see last week's episode, so I know that I did see the end of the episode where they got into the argument where Ayan said that she was more successful than Stanberry. Okay. So when Stanberry got mad, she left the table and Brooks followed in behind her. Now, I will say one positive thing about Brooks in this particular scene. I like the fact that Brooks was like, that's not going to happen. And she followed in behind Stanberry and she tried to talk to Stanberry and tell Stanberry to come back. I can say that was a different side of Brooks, and I actually like that side of Brooks. I feel like I would like Brooks. Well, I don't dislike Brooks. I will say I don't dislike Brooks. I feel like for me, I'm trying to think of how I can say this about Brooks. Because let me put this out on the forefront. I know in the past, because I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not talking about her fashion. I'm not talking about her wigs. I'm not talking about anything about Brooks. I won't joke about Brooks because I don't think she can take it. So I won't joke about Brooks at all. Brooks is a beautiful woman. The thing that I think the issue with Brooks is she goes from 0 to 100 really fast. And sometimes I think that she hears things like what people say to her. She hears it, but she, like some people listen only to respond to what you said. And that's just kind of the vibe that I get from Brooks. I think she hears what people are saying, but in her mind, she's coming up with a response to what you said about her. That's how I feel about Brooks. And also, I will say one thing to Brooks, because I do. So you guys know. Now here's the interesting thing, right? So Brooks had recently blocked me on Twitter, and I don't know what happened. I never said anything negative about Brooks. The only thing I ever say about Brooks is her wigs. I joke about her wigs. That was it. That was really the only thing that I've ever said about Brooks is her wigs. I've never said anything negative about Brooks. I very rarely, I don't even tweet her. I think I may have tweeted her once or twice. And I know the one time, and I didn't realize that she was tagged in it. They were asking, who would you want back for season 2? And I said Lisa and Ayan. And that was it. I said Lisa and Ayan. And maybe Sarah. I didn't even really say, I never mentioned anything about Brooks. And then one time I talked about her wig, and somebody tweeted her quote. Somebody tweeted me with her tagged in it. I'm like, if I wanted to tag Brooks, I could have easily found her Twitter and tagged Brooks. I didn't want to do that because I don't care. I don't want people to think that I say things and do things to get these people attention. I don't need attention. I don't care about it. But I will say to Brooks is, so she blocked me, but then she unblocked me, which I was like, okay, that's kind of odd, but okay. I don't, because like I said, I never did anything to her. I never said anything to her. And I think the issue that I have is because sometimes I know I can be a little shady, and me, I'm an internal person. So I played. So for a few days, I was in my head thinking like, had I offended this woman? Had I said something negative about this woman? Like I was in my head, and I hate, and that's one thing about myself that I hate. I internalize things. And that bothered me for a few days because I was like, if I said something negative about this woman, I never intended to. Even on my video, I say shady things. I might go in on people, right? But I'm never a person that is malicious. That's not my personality. I'm not a malicious person. But I will say for Brooks, I think that Brooks, when it comes to this is just giving you some advice, even if you watch this video or if you're not, or if somebody sees it and wants to tell her what I said. I think the thing for Brooks would be, because I noticed that I think she responds to people sometimes, not all the time. If someone says something negative about her, she responds to it. The best thing that you can do, Brooks, is even if you're looking in the hashtag, if you see something about yourself, scroll past it. Like, people are gonna say negative things regardless. They're gonna talk shit about you regardless. Don't feed into it. That's the one thing that I want to say. Do not feed into that shit, because it happens to me on this channel. People have said negative things to me about on this channel, and I pay it dust. I pay it dust because it doesn't matter to me what you say. You can say whatever you want to say. I don't give a damn. So I really want for Brooks to get to that point where she just doesn't give a damn. Let people say what the fuck they want to say. But other than that, that's all I got. But at one point Nina came over where Stanberry and Brooks were, and Stanberry was like, "Oh, now you can speak." She tells her sometimes that she needs to just stand up. I was like, "Well, damn." But you know what? I have to. You guys know I don't like Stanberry. You guys know I do not like Stanberry. I don't see it for Stanberry. Stanberry ain't my cup of tea. But I will agree with her. It's not like picking a side, but if you, like the age-old saying goes, if you stand for something, what is it? Is it if you stand for something, you'll fall? If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And I feel like she needs to stand up for her friend. So then Lisa, I will say I have so much respect for Lisa. Ayan is her best friend, but she was able to tell Ayan she was wrong in that moment. Now, here's what bothered me. So they eventually got Ayan to go apologize to Stanberry, and she did. Now, Stanberry didn't have to accept the apology, but she could have at least acknowledged the apology. Like, damn. So then, after Stanberry left, they talked to Nina was talking to Ayan, and then Lisa kind of chimed in as well. And I can understand where they're coming from, because this is kind of fake to me. If you had told the girls previously some negative shit about Stanberry, but then out of the blue, y'all are like besties now, bitch, I would look at you sideways like, what? I don't play that. So then we see Stanberry. So she went to her room and she called up Sergio. Y'all, Sergio is literally the 7th housewife. So also with Nina, they were talking about the fact that they feel like if Nina had stayed at the table, that probably would have prompted Stanberry to come back, right? Who knows, right? So then we find out that the girls the next day, Nina tells them the next day that they're going to be doing a sound bath, right? So let's pause here, you guys, and let's go ahead and move forward. So next day we see Stanberry. So she's dealing with, remember, she's having her home built there, but the home that she's staying in currently, it's sold. So she has to move out of that and move into an apartment. So then we see Lisa and Brooks talking, right? And they're talking about that they understand the fact that they know how Ayan feels being black women. Black women have to be strong, have to be basically like a Renaissance man. They have to be everything. They have to be the glue, the backbone. They have to be so strong. Now, I do want to point something out, because I don't follow Brooks, but Brooks showed up on my timeline last night. So I know Brooks said that some of the things, this like the argument with Stanberry and Ion, it was edited a different way because Brooks says that Stanberry was talking to her and Ion chimed in. And then I know she said something else was edited. I don't remember what it was. I think it has something to do with Nina. I can't remember. But I know she said that argument with Ion and I know she said that argument with Ion and Stanberry was edited. I just have one question. Well, I doubt she's watching this, but I have a question about that. How was it like when she, I wonder what? So I know a lot of reality stars, they say things are edited, but I wonder sometimes. And I know when it comes to these scenes, they film these scenes for like hours at a time. So I'm wondering when she says it was edited, I wonder if she means like they cut some things. I know that's what she means, but how much did they cut out? Like that's the thing, that because then when they replay it, they show what happened. So I'm wondering to myself, how much was cut out that we weren't privy to seeing? I would love to know that question. That would be an interesting one. So Ion, she called her husband, right, and she was telling him about what happened, and he told her, he's very supportive of Ion, and he told Ion that he feels like she should just sit down, have a conversation with Stanberry. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think she should have a conversation with Stanberry? We'll discuss it in the comments. So then we see them do their sound bath, and baby, I would have been over it, especially when Brooks was talking about his bees out there. There is one thing in this world that I cannot do, is a bee. I can't do a bee or a wasp, because if I get stung by them, I am probably going to die. No, I'm not being funny. I have like as a kid, I had really bad asthma, and that would just take me out. So the woman tells them to drink something, and is quote medicine. And when Brooks and Lisa drank it, the face they made, she says, "Oh yeah, it's kind of bitter." I would have been like, well, that would have been nice to know up front, lady, that is bitter. Brooks is not feeling this because Brooks feels like, she would prefer to be in her cute bikinis and not around bees. That way we can agree on, girl. I would prefer to be anywhere in a swim trunks and not around no damn bees. So while they're doing this damn sound bath, who shows up? Sergio shows up. I was like, God damn, Sergio. Go away. Next season, can y'all give Sergio his gold bar? Like, give Sergio his gold bar, because it's just he's auditioning for a housewife position. Let him and Stanberry get their divorce and let him find his boyfriend, so that way he can be a full-time housewife. So then we see Ion. She was over when Sergio got there, and I can concur. And watching this scene, it actually reminded me of Real Housewives of Potomac season 1, when Ashley hosted the girls trip. And remember that the ladies got upset when Michael joined them. There was a difference between this and that. That was Ashley and Michael's home. This, oh well, ain't this Stanberry's home? Or is this a rental? Well, you know what? It might be the same thing. But I mean, Michael wasn't coming to basically be a part of the girls trip. That is what Sergio is doing. Sergio wants to be included in everything with Stanberry. Girl, your man really might be trying to take your gold bar. I think that's what's happening. I think your man wants your gold bar. Just saying. And Chanel Lyon was like, what was the motherfucking purpose? I was like, exactly. What was the purpose of Stanberry coming? I mean, not Stanberry. Well, hell, that is Stanberry. His name should be Stanberry. What was the purpose of Sergio coming? So, Ion and Stanberry, they have a conversation about them being more successful. So, Ion says when she said it, it wasn't in a sense to say, I have more money than you, I have more this than you. It was just saying she's done a lot in her life and she's accomplished a lot. And she's a lot more than just a model. And I understand that. I do understand that. And Stanberry says she was just big upping her. I was like, were you really? Were you really? Because if this woman, now here's my thing. Ion said she told this Stanberry this 3 to 4 times by now. So you know what she does. So how are you big upping her? The way to big up her is to say, oh, Chanel Lyon, you are a model. You recruit models. You do this. You do that. You do da 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 da. That's the way you can big up her, not by asking her once again what she does. Because when you say certain things like that, if a person has told you multiple times, it's almost like you're belittling what they do. Just saying that, just putting that out there. It just kind of seems like you're belittling what that person does. So you guys, let's pause here and move forward. So next up, you guys, let's go ahead and talk about Stanberry again. So you guys know Stanberry and Sergio, they want to go, well, he wants to have a baby. Stanberry don't want no damn baby. I wish she would tell that boy that she doesn't want a baby. But they're in their new apartment. They're talking about IVF. So she's going through the process of IVF. She's injected herself. And the stories that I've heard about IVF, that is a daunting process. That is a daunting. It takes a lot. It exerts a lot of energy from the woman. And my whole thing is with Stanberry, girl, why do you want a baby with the dumbass? Because that is what Sergio is. Sergio knows nothing about a woman. I think only thing Sergio knows about a woman is breast and vagina. I think that's all Sergio knows about a woman is the breast and the vagina. Anything else, he doesn't know about it. So then they stimulate pregnancy for him. What they should have done was, because I've actually done that before, where they've simulated pregnancy, where they put things on your stomach, and they show you what it's like to have contractions. Whew, Jesus. I don't know how women do it. My hat is off to all the mothers out there, right? Because I wanted to try it. I was like, I wonder what it feels like. And I was like 18, 19 years old. Because I asked one of my friends who had kids, I'm like, are contractions really that bad? She was like, they are hell. I was like, really? So when that woman put that thing on my body, and she stimulated them contractions, I was like, oh, you got to get this off my stomach. Bitch, just hurts. I'm like, that's really what it feels like. It was just the work. It was like a cramp times 10. I was like, because I was thinking, this is my young brain at 18 thinking that a contraction is literally like a cramp. I was thinking that a contraction was like a cramp. Bitch, that was a cramp times 10. Because it was just, oh. And it was because she didn't tell me, and that was the thing about it. She didn't tell me when it was coming. Because I was like, I don't feel nothing. And she hit me with it. I was like, girl, warn me next time. So then she let me, I think it was like maybe 10 minutes that I simulated it. And then she did it again. I was like, and that was worse than the last time. She said, that's what it's like with a woman. The contractions get worse and worse. I was like, are you serious? Jesus. Again, my hats are off to women who have babies. All the mothers out there, my hat is literally off to you ladies. You ladies are strong to go through childbirth. So Brooks came over, right? Excuse me, y'all. So they talk, and I believe Brooks is in the situation that happened with Ion and with Stanberry. I think she's in the middle, so to speak. I believe she's in the middle because I think as a black woman, she understands where Chanel is coming from, but she also understands where Stanberry is coming from. But Stanberry feels that Ion uses her past as an excuse to be rude. I don't know about that, especially the next scene that we're going to get. But Brooks feels like Ion is Lisa's puppet. Now that part I don't agree with. I actually disagree. I don't believe that she's her puppet. But you guys can let me know what you think, and we can discuss it in the comment section below. And let's pause here, you guys, and wrap up the episode. Alright, you guys, so the last part of the episode, I don't want to go too deep into it because it really broke my heart hearing Ion's story. It broke my heart. And it made me understand Ion so much more. So Ion and Sarah went to the hypnotherapist, right? You can tell that Ion probably as a child didn't experience, healthy relationships with her family. She didn't experience healthy love. She experienced toxicity, and she experienced abuse from people, right? So oh God, This is terrible. How do you do this to a I don't understand. How do you do this to a 5-year-old, you guys? When she said that she went, that one day they got her and her siblings, took her to her, I believe, her aunt's house. They tied them. They tied them to a bed, and they circumcised her. And I was thinking, because I mean, as a male, I know what a circumcision is, where they remove the foreskin from around, our member. And I was like, how do you circumcise? And I was thinking to myself, how do you circumcise a woman? And then it finally clicked in my bed, in my head. It finally clicked in my head. I was like, oh my God, no, they did not. By the time it clicked in my head, she was in her interview talking about how she had to go to the doctor and have the doctor undo it, and before she got married, and she, when she got married, I was like, oh my God, that is this. Oh my God, how do you do that to a 5-year-old child? How do you do that to a 5-year-old? How do you do that to a 5-year-old? There is a special place in the pits of hell for a person that will sew up a 5-year-old. What does a 5-year-old know about sex that you are sewing up her vagina? What does a 5-year-old know about that? Why are y'all thinking about a dowry with a 5-year-old? Why are you thinking about selling off why are you even thinking about that at 5 years old? 5. It's terrible at any age, but 5? Y'all, it's a special place in hell for them people. Let's hit you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on your post notifications. Share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves, you guys. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Social distance. Be blessed. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.